So we're trying to start a video that's something I do a lot of intros with during presentations. It's really like a Hollywood version of what we do. A reality show company did a teaser, and that's looks really interesting. So we usually play that, but it's really exaggerated. What we do as an organization, the purpose of our organization is to change the way people view violence. Our objective is to show people ways of creating non-violent outcomes. And the only way we can actually create non-violent outcomes is by having training. And we're gonna do it consistently. All right. We don't do any of that. But this reality show thought it would be great to put that together. I did not choose that music. But it was really interesting the way they put it together. That's their idea of what it means to manage threat. But it's really the exact opposite. So we don't come in and barnstorm people and take our Hummers through walls or any of that because we don't need to. We create peace, first of all, by thinking about peace. We focus on peace. So in other words, our objective is to create peace. So when I see someone doing something I think is illegal, I still think I want to peacefully manage that issue. I don't think, oh, look, I can now use violence. It's now righteous violence. And that's what we were all taught in a human society, where we were taught that we can torture people and we can hit people, we can shoot them if they qualify for this treatment. So you can disqualify them for this treatment by looking at them as your family. If that was your cousin, if that was your child, your teenage child, your adult child, if this was your mom, your dad, if this was your family member, what would you want someone to do to them right now in this situation, good or bad? If your cousin or if your son, if your brother or sister was stealing a car, would you want someone to shoot your family member for stealing an insured item? No. Then why are you prepared to go kill someone over this object, over this item? It's an item. It's replaceable. It's insured. One of the things that we have to do is change our entire thought process behind human value, human life value. We have to believe that all life is valuable because it should be in your mind. The moment you don't do that, the moment you believe that life is less important than laws, life is not as important as property, that people are less important than property, then you are a risk to yourself and everyone around you because you're willing to put life at risk for something that does not really truly matter. And so that's where the core difference between what we do as an organization and anyone else is that we put the quality of life of people above all things. So I've had clients say to me, well, you mean if they're stealing a TV out of my house, you're not going to go get them? We're going to film them. We're going to tell them to go away and tell them to drop it. They drop it, that's fine. If they don't, we're not going to fight them over this TV. We're going to fight them. We're not going to kill or die over this TV, your toasters, or your tools. None of those things are worth any death. And you'll know that at the end of the argument. Because if I don't work for the state, which I do not, that means I pay for the damages to the humans. That means even though they were doing something illegal or inappropriate, when I injure or kill them, I have to pay for their injuries. In the United States, you pay for the injuries to the people, to the damages of the people that you damaged under all conditions. The reason you don't pay when police hurt someone is because you pay through your taxes. You didn't realize you're paying. But yes, we are still paying. So if you don't believe in peace and creating nonviolent outcomes because it's just good to be that way, remember, it's also prosperous. It's prosperous to be peaceful. So the core of protection is really love of people. Love of people. You cannot protect anything related to people if you don't love people. You cannot protect what you do not love. And humans naturally protect what we do love. Even if it's our duty, if we don't like this car, it could be a good car, but I don't like Corvettes. Let's say I don't like Corvettes. I got a Corvette. I'm going to treat my Corvette like garbage. I'm going to treat it bad because I don't care about this car. But if I love this car, I'll cherish this car. I'll take care of the car. I won't even want you looking at the car. I won't let you sit in the car. I won't let the car get dirty because I love the car. Whatever we love, we naturally protect. So people say to me like, well, so what is important about, the kind of people you want to hire or work with the organization? And I get guys that come to me like, I just got back from Iraq, Afghanistan, I was a sniper, I was whatever. What I care about is, do you care about people? Not can you kill them. It's so easy to kill people that college kids with great GPAs kill each other in hazing incidents by accident at college campuses. There's not one college campus where a kid has not been killed by another good kid from a good family by accident. That's how easy it is to kill people. Just playing around, playing hazing to get in our sorority or fraternity. So killing is easy. And remember, the people that think that guns are the solution, remember that every dead police officer had at least 2 guns at the time of their death. Every dead police officer had 2 guns at the time of their death. What class is going to make you better than any of the dead police officers with doing what they're doing? In fact, guess what? 9 times out of 10, the police officer knew he was in danger before it happened. In other words, he did a traffic stop. He was going into someone's house or a building or walking up to someone when the shooting happened and the police officer did not make it. So being gun dependent is not going to help you. You will not survive because you have a gun. So we train people and the police to do one thing, and that is to create life where there would be death. And the way that we do that is by getting police and the public to see and understand the science behind how humans function so we can create those outcomes consistently. So it's not luck, because there are stories. You guys will have luck stories where someone talks someone down and just luckily talked them out of a situation. They had no training, but it actually happens all the time. How about gun disarms? Do you know how often gun disarms happen? So often, you'd be shocked. Go do some research on your own, and everything I ever tell you, when I'm going to tell you some really amazing things that are going to sound crazy, I want you to Google it. I want you to go do your own research on everything I say to you. But watch this. 9 out of 10 shootings at schools, active shootings, you will never hear anything about them because they happen in places you never heard of. And they know you don't care in the media. So they're not going to tell you about Oshkosh B'gosh High School in Idaho and how many shootings they had there. And how the school teacher, this blonde school teacher, 24 years old in, I think it's Nebraska or somewhere, she takes down this student who just shot one student, shot another. She comes over, she takes him down, takes his gun. Now that's a great story to me. But to CNN, that's like, okay, no one even heard of this place. It's like, that's a school in some place no one cares about. So what schools do they talk about on CNN? The schools near the CNN stations. And where are all the national news stations? In cities. So 90% of your news comes from cities, even though most crimes don't happen in cities. But in your brain, all crime happens in cities. I can't tell you last time I heard of a crime in Michigan outside of Detroit. But the overwhelming majority of murders do not happen in Detroit. But you can't convince Detroit people that. They watch the news. They know all murders happen in Detroit. Nothing happens up here. Unless it's a bear gets you. And that's not true. That's totally not true. But what happens is our brain creates axioms, things we've just already accepted when we start this conversation. Whatever our conversation is, we've already had these axioms. And those axioms are false because they're based on narratives that someone else fed into. So it's up to you to do your own research, which you're going to find even more difficult because research is it's subjective and twisted. So you have to kind of extrapolate how your actual question goes. So remember that all your data is basically subjected to someone's perspective. And then you still see through it, but you just got to ask yourself the right questions. So you'll hear people say things like, single mothers, they'll say things like, single mothers, there's more African-American, no, they never say that. They say there's a disproportionate number of single mothers in the African-American community. Okay, now since most people don't understand English and etymology, they think disproportionate means majority, which doesn't mean that. And there's no way it could be the majority. Literally, there's no way the majority of anything can be African-American in the United States. But the majority of everything negative is reported as a disparity in a negative tone about African-Americans, period. And that's everything. How can 12% of the population be anything that's the majority of importance to you or me? It really can't be. So you have to throw those narratives away and start fresh, because otherwise you'll be out in the country like, well, I feel pretty safe out here. Nothing happens. And then something terrible is going to happen to you. And you're like, I've never heard this happens out here. I thought there's just cow tipping out here. But what happens is, if you extrapolate the information right, the FBI actually says, according to all the crimes that we're tabulating, which is a very small amount of the crimes that are committed, they still say, no matter where you live in the United States, the crime is equal. But anybody who watches news knows that's a lie. But they don't know the news is a lie. And so I say all that because we can't have a real conversation about really anything unless we throw away the perspectives that we're all programmed to believe, right? So, but you do have evidence. So where do most active shootings take place? Not in trailer parks, not in poor people housing areas in the city. They happen in suburbs, and they happen where people have two-parent households, Christian two-parent households where the parents both went to college, and they're in middle-class communities. But when you say that out loud, you're like, wait, I thought that it was dangerous in the cities. How come a city's never had an active shooting? How come there's never been an active shooter just randomly going to any high school, college, or university saying, I'm going to shoot all these kids? How could every single person in the Crips and Bloods that's never decided to go to school and shoot everyone? That's weird, because on TV, it seems like that, but not in real life. So when you think about what's dangerous to you and your family, remember that what's most dangerous to you is not the TV characters. What's really most dangerous to you and your family in real life is not stranger danger, it's non-stranger danger. The people that are going to harm you and your family most likely are people that know you, people you know in your family, your friends, your neighbors, not strangers. But so when you're planning to defend yourself and your family, remember, you must understand who's most likely going to harm you. It's someone you know, not someone you don't know. So imagine if you go with the axioms from the news and TV and movies, you're prepared for Al-Qaeda to come over here and they're going to kill you in your town. It's not going to happen. There's no inner city gangs coming together to come to your house and come get your guns. That's a real conversation I had with someone in 1990-something. The guy called me on the phone and said he thinks the gangs are going to get together with the FBI, come out to outer Michigan and take their guns. I assured him that the gang members will not be on time to the meeting, so the FBI will leave the meeting and they will never actually work together. So these guys actually believe this stuff. So it's imperative you guys, if you're going to protect yourself, your family, your community, your corporation, use facts. Use facts. Never use fear to dictate your course of action. I need a firearms guy. Someone with firearms training? Anybody here trained in firearms? Sir, you can read, please? So to give you some things that you can actually use to protect yourself and your family, first thing we do is deal with the reality that, although Kung Fu can hurt you, that's not really a major danger. Guns are a major danger, so are knives. So we spend a lot of time helping you manage that threat, the threat from guns. So if a person has a gun, put 2 hands on the gun. This would be a super compact Glock. This is a really small toy. All right, so we're gonna push the gun towards me, push hard, push the gun, push real hard. So he is pushing hard. Now watch that.
It's gonna crack.
It's gonna crack. Yeah, go ahead and crack it. It's okay.
Almost.
Yeah, it's almost gonna crack. Yep, but he's really pushing hard.
Yep.
Now, I'm just using one finger. Now watch this. I'm gonna use my whole hand. He's gonna do the same thing. Yeah. So if I use my whole arm, he can literally kill me just because I try to use all my force here instead of just a finger here.
Yeah.
So to save you and your family, all you have to do is grab the barrel. Grab the barrel of the weapon, and the weapon will literally come out of the hand. This will save your life. This is life. You want to try to keep that hole open in the end. Don't try to put your hand in front of there. That'd still be better than here. So you grab the barrel of the weapon, right? The frame, the barrel, all of it, with all of your hand. Don't come to someone with your finger and go, ha, criminal, I gotcha. No, that's just a principle. Just grab the whole gun. And now you can save your life because no matter what he does, I have control of this gun. The only way he can protect himself from here would be if I let him go backwards. Back up. Now, if I go forwards, there's nothing literally he can do with that gun. If I go forward as he backs up, I still control the gun. That has nothing to do with muscles. This is the science of how the hand works, biomechanics. You protect your life by understanding the science of how humans are built. Humans cannot hold a weapon in their hand. It's a lever. You can literally take it out of their hand easily. It comes right out. To protect yourself, you may not want to turn the gun. You'll see some people in different types of martial arts say, well, we'll just grab the gun, turn like this. It has a trigger. If I push the gun away, I'm actually shooting other people here. So you always want to take the gun either straight down, back towards the person, or straight up, back towards the person. So if he puts the gun here, cock the gun, fire. Okay, cock it again, please.
I think so. What is it? Does it shoot something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I hope not. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, one more time. Okay, let's do it again.
Awesome.
And this time, let's stand so the camera can see us.
Hold on, I got like sunblock.
Okay. All right. So let's do. Let's stand right here.
Yeah.
I'll go this way.
Okay.
Stand. Point it here, please.
Oh.
Okay. So you're gonna shoot me if I move. If I move for the weapon at all. If I do anything. So we do that to make sure he's actually gonna shoot.
Hold on.
If I move, you're gonna shoot. Ooh. And from here, yeah, I'm going slow because his finger is actually trapped inside the trigger well. And from here, I actually have a lock. Yeah. I can actually lock.
Actually felt kind of good.
Yeah, there was a crack. You can actually use this to lock the person to the ground, or you can strip it, and you don't have to shoot them if you don't want to. You can just take their weapon and tell them to leave. You don't have to shoot. There's no rule that says just because he pulled the gun on me, I now have to kill him. That's not a rule. Okay, that's a choice. And you also find that out in the next stage of life as you go to court, and they say, I'm sorry, you said you took the gun from him. Yes. And then you shot him. Yes. So he was unarmed. Oh, no. Well, you had his gun. Yes. So you shot the unarmed man with his gun. Yes. Okay, you shot an unarmed man. It just didn't seem that way at the time. But there is no actual law for shooting unarmed man. It's not really a thing. However, your attorney would argue that you felt, that you're still in danger, even though you now had the gun. So it's a real gray area here, right? Because remember, let's say he turns away right now, and I'm using my feelings and I shoot him. It's going to show I shot him in the back, when in real life he might have just went like that, right? So you got to think. This is where you think about those things, not after your lawyer is talking about your bail and you're trying to explain what happened. So that's what the training is for: is to arm you with better decision making to keep a problem from happening to you and your family. Okay. So once you take the gun from someone, you have eliminated the perceivable threat in the way our courts look at threats, right? And politics, right? Because even politically, if people find out you shot the person who did have the gun, a lot of people are still going to be like, well, why would you shoot him if he no longer has the gun? Now you, in real time, are like, oh my God, this guy tried to kill me. And you will think, primarily, I need to stop him from trying to kill me again, right? But do remember, you do have the gun. Unless, of course, he had another one. Then, of course, it would make it legal for you to use the gun, but I would still suggest you find a way to dominate the threat without shooting people, okay? So, principle, we know that if we grab the barrel, we control it. We know we can take it downward or we can take it upwards, and we can control this threat and keep this gun from being a problem for us and our family. We don't muzzle flash people in the crowd. We don't muzzle flash our family when we're trying to rescue them. So if I'm with my family and this is a criminal and I go to disarm the criminal and he shoots my family, what was the point? I go like this and I have a client and I do like this. Do you know that if he starts shooting now, it could be said that I created the shooting? Legally, it could be said by the people that he kills, their family could blame me. They'd have a good argument, right? Because he was just robbing me when I grabbed the gun and that's where our legal system works. Who created the circumstances? Yes, he's culpable, but I'm also culpable, right? That's the way it could be looked at. Yes?
How is your understanding when that's happened? Yeah, and you get a situation like you shot somebody. Do you go to prison then?
I could. That could, because it could be said that I created the circumstances for the shooting. So he's just pointing, he's not shooting. Now, if he was already shooting and I ran over, that's totally different. But if he's not shooting anyone and I go like this, your family, because I pushed the gun this way, could say in the States, it's probably not that way anywhere else, but in the States, they could say, I created the circumstances for him to shoot you. He didn't even want to shoot you. He was trying to shoot me, but I pushed the gun over there, right? And I'm sure in other countries they would say, whatever, it doesn't matter. Yes? In the way, the general thought process in the states. So each state also has different rules and laws, but in general, liability stays the same. So remember, that's how they blame police officers. Police officers chasing someone, and the person, plows into the criminal plows into someone. They blame, or the police officer accidentally, plows into the regular people. They blame the police officer, and they blame the criminal for the crime part, but they blame the police officer for creating the circumstance for the crash and the injuries that, for the high-speed chase, right? So it's who created the circumstances for the event. Whether we think it's logical or correct, it's neither here nor there. I don't think it's correct in my opinion, but how they can flip it on you. So what I do is so essentially what we do through our training system is prepare you for the worst case scenario. So all the different parts of how this could play out and affect you adversely in your family before something bad happens, right? So you've been armed with a higher level of understanding, so you're not making a primal decision. Your decisions are based on a higher level of understanding, and you're mitigating and managing how you're going to manage this risk, right? So it might be that I'm doing this, but I am taking a chance that I do know that, but I have to really stop him from shooting, his ex-wife, his ex-girlfriend, my family, whatever this is. When I did this, I knew that was a possibility, that the fact that I'm wrestling this gun, it couldn't come back on me.
And it's just easier to go up or down, too.
Yeah, you actually should be, you really should never push the guns. These have triggers, so you should never do things like that. Remember to push the gun down or push it up. And now you've just eliminated that situation. But you will see a lot of martial arts schools teaching things like taking the gun this way, and not like there's no trigger there, but there is a trigger. And assume if he's a really bad guy, when you push the gun in any way, it's going to fire. So you're producing gunshots, okay? Human reaction time. This is very vital. Point the gun at me. Cock it. Make sure it's cocked. Okay? So he's going to tell me to drop the gun. And if I try to lift this gun, he's going to fire. Okay? Say, drop the gun.
Drop the gun.
Okay, let's try it again. If I don't drop the gun, if I try to lift this gun up, you're going to shoot.
Drop the gun.
Did you guys hear that? Same thing.
Drop the gun. Oh, shit.
So I did exactly what he said. He saw it in the air. He's like, oh, oops. Oh, sorry, gosh.
Sorry,
And that's human reaction time. There's nothing he could do. He literally saw the gun come out of my hand, and his brain was like, oh, oops, click. And it kind of looks like, almost like he hesitated, but he didn't. It's just the way the brain works. The brain takes 2,000ths of a second to respond to the stimulus, 1,000th of a second to initiate action. So for me, it took 1 second for me to drop the gun. It took him 2,000ths of a second to say, he moved, let's shoot. Plus he believed I was gonna shoot him, right? He didn't believe I wasn't. So same thing, say, show me your hands.
Show me your hands.
So you saw that on TV shows a lot, right? They said, show me your hands, and then the guy, you know, somehow on TV shows, you can always shoot first, right? It's like, especially TV shows, when you watch TV shows, they're always like, show me your hands, the criminal's like, ah, and then they get shot. But in real life, it's not what it's like. Same thing, and take aim, don't even say anything. We're gonna let him concentrate just on shooting me when he sees the gun. So there's no distraction from words, okay? If I pull a gun, he's going to shoot. That was really close.
Yeah. Sorry.
So the brain works this way. Once he believed I was going to pull a gun, which is what the situations are when you pull your gun, you believe someone has a gun. You don't just go around pointing guns at people. So you believe they have a gun. Now you're halfway to killing someone for no reason and didn't even know it. You literally made the decision to shoot someone under all conditions because you actually believed, right? Remember, he's not really scared. There's no darkness in here. He's actually in a controlled environment and knew I'm setting him up, right? He knew there was a potential where it may not be a gun. And then in real life, you don't have that. And yet still the brain could not stop that action. Somebody else want to come try it? Anybody else? Yep.
I think it's important to not make sudden movements.
Yeah.
At it, you know what I mean? Like, if you did it slowly, it would be cool.
Yeah. So he's saying that if I move slowly, and that is true, if I were to move slowly. Now, when someone points a gun at you and tells you to do something, do you move slow? Or do you adhere to their rules, to their commands and demands as quickly as possible? Now, I suppose if they said, I want you to show me your hands, nice and slow, then you would say, okay, I will. But that's not how it goes. Show me your hands! Ah! That's how it really goes, right? So that's because we respond the way people interact with us. So if someone yells at us, we usually yell back. They say, what are you doing? You go, I'm not doing anything. They go, what are you doing? You don't go, I'm not doing anything. Unless you really are doing something. And that's why you're able to control yourself. So keep that in mind. Predators are not someone that uses normal ways of communicating. They're able to stay calm. If you point a gun at a predator, he points a gun at me and I'm actually a predator. And he's like, show me your hands, show me your hands. Sir, listen, I will do that. It's okay. Listen, I'm going to pull my hands out nice and slowly. Same things and concentrate. Say, show me your hands.
Show me your hands.
I will. Do you want me to turn around first or just show the hands?
Okay.
Luckily, mine was unloaded, so he won.
Yeah. You would have fast.
Yeah. Same thing. Say, show me your hands.
Hands. Stop. Oh, God.
So a criminal was told to show hands. 2 police officers said, hey, show me your hands. The guy got off the bike and started dancing. And they were like, what's he doing? And he was like, and then he turned around and shot both officers, got back on his bicycle and drove away. That's because a predator can stay calm. Yeah, that's real. They were like, what's he doing? He's dancing right now. Right, because a criminal's able to respond in an abnormal way. They're predators. A predator criminal, not a regular criminal. A predator, a true predator, can remain calm. Regular people can't. So when you point a gun at an actual predator, the predator's like, hi, is everything okay? No, it's okay. I pray for you. Right? That's the person to be scared of. But a regular person, you point a gun, and like, ah, ah, they start freaking out because they're in shock. Yes, sir.
Is the predator being calm? Is that because they've been in this situation many times before?
In some cases, they're sociopathic, meaning they've been through a lot of trauma and their brain has been conditioned. Other ways, they were just psychopaths from day one. They've been a psychopath since they were 3 years old. They were just so cute and so manipulative that people just let them get away with things. And that's why Jeffrey Dahmer was able to do what he did. That's why Ted Kaczynski, Ted Bundy was able to get into a house to attack women, even after the police said don't open the door for predators, for this guy who's killing women and violating them. So the problem was they didn't tell the women what to look for. So the women said they thought they were looking for a big black guy to come to the door and attack them. So turns out it was a lawyer-looking guy. And why did Ted Bundy look like a lawyer? Because he was a lawyer. He was in his last semester of college. And he just had a little nasty habit of killing women while in college. And he was very articulate. The judge cried when he had to convict him. He literally cried for him. He said, "You would have been a great attorney." And he's completely insane, because some of the most insane people you ever come across are going to be very inspirational. That's why they do churches. They do things that you would not suspect them in, and it's all natural, because as a predator, they know they have to cloak. So that cloaking mechanism they're using is what it's natural for them. They knew they had to do that from birth. So they were 3. They had to act like they really wanted to go to Bible study as a kid, or act like they had to, do their homework. Everything was an act. It's natural conditioning for them. And so that's why it makes it so hard for you to detect them, because you're looking at the guy with a tattoo on his face and with a bad attitude. That's not him. The real bad guy is the one that looks like he's not the bad guy, right? So keep that in mind. They're going to create conditions for predatory conditions. So keep that in mind, that the outcome, that's why you judge people by their behavior, not by their words, not by image structure. It's behavior. So if the person keeps telling you about how they kept getting fired from a job, that's because it's them. It's not the jobs. If they keep telling you that people are being unfair to them, it's them. It's not the people, right? So what you're looking for is the behavior. So when people are showing you adverse behavior, some things that, we'll come back to gun. Thank you.
Okay.
So he's asking in Netherlands why they don't pull their guns as much as they do and as fast as they do in the United States. And that is a good question. And so a lot of people in other countries are seeing that. And that is a good question. It's the way that the police are being cultured and taught. So they're being taught in fear. The police in the United States are typically taught fear training, fear-based training. So everything's about fear. This could happen, that could happen. And part of the reason for that is why we train police officers, to help them manage fear. We train police and the public to manage their fears, not to let fear dictate courses of action. So yes, you could have fear of everything, which means not only are you stressed out, but you're going to have false positives. So the purpose of threat management, preventive threat management, this class, this course, this organization, is to prepare you to not have false positives by giving you the knowledge and the skills required to manage these threats. And it's all psychological first before it becomes physical. Most of what you need to know is psychological. You could be in a wheelchair and be a lot safer than a person who can, run 10 miles and has 10 guns, because it's your thought process that's going to make you survive and make you successful. It's the way you're going to think, the way you're going to perceive things, and the way you're going to take action to create non-violent outcomes. So a lot of what we do is protecting people for free that can't afford any services. Domestic violence victims, stalking victims, people that are in direct danger in high threat conditions. And this is one of them here. This is a story of a guy who went to Arizona, took the baby from his child's mother, took the 2-year-old back to Detroit from Arizona, and was going to sell her to someone in Yemen for $100,000 so they could get their citizenship. And he'd already gone to prison doing this with another woman in Arizona. In Arizona, that's where they met. So she didn't even know he was from Detroit, but they ended up going back to Detroit. I found out about this. Thank you. So the way I found out that there was going to be a news story is someone in the police department called up and said, this is off the record. Just want to let you know there's going to be a story about you guys. And they said there's an abduction of a child and you guys went to some house and something like that. And this officer in a special unit said, we know you guys as a positive organization, so we want to know what this is about, off the record. This has got to be a misunderstanding, is the way she put it, this sergeant. And I said, yes, ma'am, it's a misunderstanding. I said, we were helping a mother get to her child. That's all we did. And the house was in her name because drug dealers do that. They put the house in the woman's name. So he was being slick. But the problem is we have proof that that's her house, and he was blocking her, not physically letting her into her house. And so we went to do a health welfare check by simply asking. He said yes, he consented. We walked in. She walked in behind us. We never touched the child. We never touched him. I just talked to him. Well, she went and got her child. All that's legal. I didn't physically do anything. We didn't enter the house against his will, but we could have because her ID shows she lives there and that's her house. He can't keep her out, right? So we didn't have to use any physical force, though. I just talked to him, wouldn't let him touch her. So he physically could not touch her. That was not going to be, that's the only thing that was not going to be allowed. And the way we inhibit it is not by touching him, is by physically obstructing his ability to touch her. So you still get freedom for the mother to exercise her rights to be free in her own home. And he should physically not be taking, and what he did was he literally, when they went out to lunch, she was trying to be amicable with him and she could see his daughter and everything. She wasn't trying to keep him from the daughter. And this is an physically violent, abusive guy. In one case, he stripped her, threw her outside in the cold with no clothes on, with no ID. When the police got there, he said, she doesn't live here. She's a prostitute. And she said, I live here. My ID is in the house. The police said, you have to leave, and told her to leave the house in Michigan in the winter. That's how she ended up getting separated from her child in one case, right? They believed that she was this prostitute, which she was not. The house was in her name. She's a tax person. She lives in another state now. Her child's this big. And that was like 10 years ago. So they're happy, extremely happy, another part of the United States. So this is what we do, and we had a chance to use our training. So the FBI did call me on that situation and explain my process, and the FBI were satisfied that we have a professional and appropriate process by which we vet the information and take appropriate legal action. So the FBI did call to find out how we do that. They were actually surveilling the house because of this illegal prescription drug thing they were doing. His brother was taken into custody the year before by the FBI in the same house, and then he was under surveillance at the time. So that all worked out in our behalf as well. At the end of the day, we helped a child get back to a safe environment rather than get sold to another country. So this is the kind of thing we do. So when I say that, this is what you should do legally, this is what you should do to create safety for yourself, is because this is what we actually do in real life. When I was in Denmark, I was protecting a client, and a guy tried to physically lean over onto a rap artist that I was protecting. And I was ignoring him, and he was hitting my arms and calling me a monkey. And this is in McDonald's, because all the rappers like to go to McDonald's. I don't know why. Foot Locker, McDonald's. I went to every McDonald's. I went to 28 cities in 30 days. And this guy named 50 Cent was a rapper back then that everybody wanted to see. So so in this case, this guy starts digging his nails into my arm. And that's when I had to take him into custody physically, because he's now about to pierce my flesh. So when he was hitting me, I was ignoring him. And the crowd, the people in Denmark inside the McDonald's are all like, oh, he's attacking the American. The American is so scared. Oh, so I was a lot shorter than him. This guy's like this big. And so they were like, oh, poor American needs help. Someone help him. And I'm just, what I'm doing is I'm underreacting. The reason I'm underreacting is to make sure everybody's on my side, right? There's also nothing to do. I can take hits on the arm. It's not, the guy can lean on me and hit my arm. It doesn't hurt me and call me a monkey. None of that matters. None of that matters. My job is to make sure this guy gets his McDonald's food. That's all I have to do. This is very simple. Nothing in the newspaper, and keep the guy able to get his McDonald's, right? Then the guy starts digging his fingers in my flesh, his nails. So then I spun him around, took him down, did a hip toss while protecting his skull. So when we got to the ground, his skull didn't bang off the ground, and then I put him in an arm bar, and as soon as I looked up, there were police boots right here. And he was like, help me. The American attacked me for nothing. Help. I was like, oh, God. So luckily, all these girls that like the rappers are like, oh, no, that's not what happened. They translated, and the police said, if he does this again, you kill him. Beat him to death. It does not matter. I was like,
Same training.
right. Right. So I beat him, beat him down, beat him to death, whatever. We'll be in the newspaper the next day. We don't know why the American came to our country and did this to this guy. It was just at McDonald's. Americans are violent. So there's a way. Oh, by the way, the client got mad because I didn't hurt the guy. The client was like, wait, you didn't beat him down? Why didn't you beat him down? Because we don't need to do that, right? So I maintained freedom for me too. What happens if you break arms and legs and stuff in other countries? You got to go to court in that country. So another reason you don't want to have violence is it inhibits your ability to make money, prosper, and remain free. I don't have time to hang out in Denmark and go to court, right? Even when I'm going to win the court case, but it'll be when? 6 months to a year from now or something, right? So ultimately, peace is something we have to create by thinking about it the whole time, right? All right, so I want everybody to come up to the front. We're going to go through some tactics, some actual skill set, some things that will make sure you maintain your freedom. Your freedom is always at risk, physically and legally. So we want to make sure you stay free. If you don't want someone to hold you against your will, you should make that choice. And when you do that, you shouldn't be putting your freedom at risk by getting your freedom. So for example, if this guy grabs my wrist and I go like this and strike his wrist, that is a strike, right? Not only did the camera see it, but the witness is like, yeah, the guy was just standing there and he just did something and struck the guy. They don't even see the part where he just grabbed my wrist, right? Not to mention there'll be a mark on his arm. I might even injure it or something. But if I want to get free, all I'm going to do is take my hand in a circle and go right over the thumb. And now I can keep walking. Very simply, if he's too strong, he's got two hands, he grabs. I'm going to take my own hand and go towards the thumbs, and it comes right out. And he was holding really hard. So you know, it comes right out. So let's do that with your partner. Let's turn to the person next to you. And what you're going to do, just the first one, just take your hand in a circle over the thumb. So someone grabs. Yep, just like that.
Yep, like that.
Yep. Oh. Yep, circle right over top of the thumb. Yep. And you got to be both the guy that's aggressor and defender so you know it works. Yes. If the person's super strong, you grab your own wrist, your own hand, and go in a circle over the thumb. Circle. Circle forward. That way. Yes. Yep. So grab here. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go right up, just like that. Yes. Really fast. Nope. Grab hard. Yeah. 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 It doesn't. Yes. Comes right out. You see that? The other way. Thumbs. Grab the thumb. Go towards the thumb. Yep. Small circle. Yep. So watch. If I grab here, go right over the thumb. Smaller. Yes. Even smaller. Watch. Grab. So right there. See that? Yeah. Small circle. Yes. That fast. If the guys grab two hands, grab your own. You have to go up, go to the side. Yes. That also helps in case they were holding like this. Yeah, it still gets out. If you learn to go straight up, if a person grabs downward like this, it makes it a lot more difficult to pull up. But if you go that way, it's still going to come out no matter what. Yep. So always turn towards the thumb. If someone grabs two hands, they grab two hands. This is a big man move when you're talking like, sir, I don't want any problems. The guy grabs my wrist, both wrists. That's usually a big guy does this to you when you're talking like, hey, come on, sir. And he'll actually literally grab your hands to control you. So what you're going to do, grab hard. We're going to come here, just like that. Yeah. From here, you're going to clap your hands and pull them straight down. Just like that. Oh, sorry.
No, I don't really want to do this.
It actually causes some discomfort to your thumbs. The harder you hold in these techniques, the more it actually causes discomfort to the hands holding. Yep. Let's try it with your partner. Hey guys, come on up here.
Come on, guys.
Let's go. It's for you, especially you two. For kids.
Exactly.
People are grabbing kids all the time.
I'm like this.
Yes.
Don't let go.
I didn't.
Okay.
Grab hard. It's easy.
That's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? It's biomechanics again.
Yeah.
Comes right out. Yeah. Come over here, guys. All right. Can you rotate in with this gentleman here, please?
See. So the first one is I'm holding your, right?
Yep. Circle right over top.
Right over top. Yeah, just like that.
Yep.
Okay.
This is especially good because when you don't want trouble and you're like, I'm just going to leave. As soon as you walk away, the guy grabs your wrist because you're trying to walk away. All you're going to do is go over the thumb.
I had no idea my thumbs were so used.
Isn't that weird? So I'm trying to walk away. The guy grabs. I go like that. Yes, always over the thumb.
Yeah, bye.
Yep. Yep. As soon as they grab you, stop it. And what happens mentally is they go, oh. Know something. You're lucky I don't have time for you right now. That's nothing. I can do something about that. You just look at them. Oh, I'm late. I have somewhere to be. That's what happens. Really, they start de-escalating right there. Just because they realize that didn't go well. They tried the first thing, and that first thing was a check. So the first thing they do is they do a check. Yes, you're calm. Yes, and that's what makes them go, you're lucky I don't have time for you. I have to go somewhere right now. Otherwise, I kick your butt. Right. It's all psychology. Now, if you have a hard time, then it actually makes them want to engage more. They're like, yeah, you can't do anything about this, can you? What about this one too? What about this? They actually amps them up. So the easier it is for you to defeat the threat, the harder it is for them to want to continue to threaten you. Right? If you think about it, it's very simplistic that way, practical, mentally. Okay, next. Someone, yes. Yes, please. Someone grabs your throat. 2 hands. Very simply, just take your finger right here. There's the top of there's a t-shirt right here. If you don't have this little notch, where there's a bone right here, just take your finger right over that and just push down. So you're just going right here, right above. It's a tracheal notch. There's a little bone right here. You're just going to go up over that with your fingers up here, not down here, just like this, and just press downward.
Right in the little triangle thing?
Yep, right over the notch. Just take your finger right over the bone.
Oh my God. Right?
Yep. You can use your thumb or you can use your fingers. Just go like that.
I know this one.
Yeah. Yes, just like that. Right over the bone. Yeah. Yep. You can use your. Yep. So you can use your fingers like this, or you can use your thumb right here. Yep. Yeah.
Where's the point? Oh, no, don't do it.
No, you gotta show the cameraman.
Oh, God.
It's right here.
Okay.
We got real.
I can see it.
Yeah. The camera dipped back, so you know it worked. It's like first person camera pain.
No.
He felt that.
I didn't know that one.
Yes, sir.
I don't think he's getting it right.
I don't know if I'm not pushing hard enough, but I'm going right here.
Right here. Take your hand right here. Yep.
Oh,
And go
underneath?
just like this. And just press down.
Okay. How did that feel?
That was less comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to just go in here
Yeah.
and you want to press downward.
That?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a
feel that?
little tougher, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
Okay.
let go.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a little tougher. He's just got a little more toughness there.
Right.
But mechanically, what happens is it makes the body back up so you can get free of the hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt
Another option you have, someone grabs with 2 hands to your throat. 2 hands on the throat. Gonna take right on the throat. Yep. Grab 2 hands. Yep. So you take your head, dip down, just like that. So that breaks through the thumb again. You'd use your head to go straight through the thumbs, just like this. Turn, walk away. Yeah, head. Take your head under their arm. Turn around. Yes. Yep.
It might hurt a little bit when you're going through the thumbs. But
Yeah.
Just can't handle all of that.
No.
yeah. Just so you know, if you need the projector to slide this
Okay.
to open.
Got it.
Right. Yeah. You'd have to repeat these a lot to be able to get into it.
Okay, everybody take your hand like a fist. This could be someone holding your hair, someone holding your shirt. What you're going to do is take your hand, pull inward. Take the tip of the thumb, and you're going to press to the second joint, just like that. Okay? It opens the hand so you can get their hair out. You can get the cloth out. If you grab this, instead of me, yep, just like that. Instead of me hitting this guy, and then like what happened to the Pope in Italy, a person in the crowd grabbed the Pope's clothing, and the security came and hit the person, and it pulled the Pope onto the ground. What the Pope's security needed to know was to simply come in here and say, excuse me, fan, excuse me.
Walk him away.
All right, yes, you can get prayed for later, right over there. But instead, yeah, all we're doing is taking the tip of the thumb and pushing it into the second joint.
And it's best to use the palm of your hand.
You can use the palm or you can use the fingers. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So if I'm on this side, I can't really get my palm in that position, so I just use my fingertip. Just bring it in.
See?
If I'm on this side, I need to grab this guy's shirt. I can use this thumb or I can use the palm, right? All you do is take the tip of the thumb into the second joint. Lightly.
Let me experience this. So,
Yep. Make a fist. Yep.
oh, okay, I understand now.
I feel it already.
Yeah. Yep.
So
That could be done. That could be done from here.
Can I try your hand? So is it just
Yeah,
down
it's the
like
tip.
that?
It's the tip.
Okay.
The
Oh,
tip.
the tip of your
Yes.
thumb. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was it?
You guys.
That's all it took?
That's it. Yeah, you don't feel anything on your side.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So grab here. Okay.
The tip of the thumb?
Yeah. In to here. Yeah. In.
Okay. Like this?
No, not out. Just tip to bring it in. You're pulling them. Make a fist. Make a fist. Okay, hold it. Okay. Grab. Okay. So you're taking this in here.
Okay. I think you have much stronger grip.
No.
than I do.
You're just not pressing the right angle. It's just the tip. You're just turning the tip.
So, like this?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
So remember, that's getting your hands. You want. So this could be a homeless person grabbing your shirt. This could be some kid holding your shirt. Someone you don't want to hurt. You don't want to. You don't even want to. You don't want to smack them. Nothing. You just want to get their hands off you. A coworker, like coworkers, like I'm not done talking to you. You want to hit your coworker right now? That may not go well with human resource management, or you're an employer. And do you really want to hit your employee right now? That's probably not good. You can use your palm right there. Yeah, just like that. It doesn't take much energy at all.
No.
Very little.
No.
Very little.
Torque it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not even torquing. Look, watch, make fist. It's literally just a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Right. Not torquing.
Okay.
He torqued a minute ago. It's horrible pain.
Oh, sorry.
Luckily, I'm torque certified, and I was able to pull my hand out before the torque ruptured my thumb off. Super strong guy. So yeah, I mean, this takes very little pressure. So remember that anytime we go towards the thumb cannot hold anything. Guns, knives, nothing. So make a fist. We can open the hand. We know we can open it here. We can also open the hand by simply pressing the hand and pulling the wrist. Anytime we do that, it opens up. Okay, so if there was something in there, we could open that. Anytime that we have the pinky up, open your hand, please. Or doesn't matter, either way. Pinky up and thumb down, this is called control. We can actually control the person against their will. Yep. Anytime that the pinky is up and the thumb is down, you have a control. You can take a person into control. Yep, by pinky up, thumb down. So anytime the pinky goes up and the thumb goes down, the pinky is up, thumb is pointed down, we have control over the person. So, yes, sir. Pinky up, thumb down. Yep. So the way we use that in real life is this way. The guy is pushing me back.
Am I doing this? Okay, sorry. I was trying to do it.
Yep. So guy's pushing. I'll go lightly. The guy pushes me back. He's pushing me back. I'm going to turn my body, just hold his hand to my body, and turn my body just like that. Yep. So he's pushing me forward. Yep. I'm going to put my hand here, and all I'm going to do is make his pinky go up and his thumb go down. Oh, God.
When you use the elbow, yeah.
No, there's no elbow.
No? You're
Nope.
not using that?
Not at all.
No, it's just my arm twisting off.
No, it's just I had to get my hand. It looked like my elbow because my elbow had to get over his arm.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way to stand up right now.
Oh yeah, no.
We actually make him lay all the way down.
I believe.
Let's call the police now.
Yeah, it's literally just pinky is up and thumb is down. See that? Okay. And then all we're doing is here.
See.
Okay. So the pinky is.
No, I get it.
Yep. So here. Yep.
Uh-huh,
Yep. So when it's stretched out, right, you don't feel that lock. That's not that lock. It's a different lock.
Aha. See, so bent is different than stretched.
Correct. And sometimes people if you go slow, like if I go really slow here, he can turn his arm out, turn straight down. Yeah. So now it's a different kind of lock. So now I would use the elbow.
Got you. That's why you used your elbow. I see.
Yeah. No.
Earlier.
Oh no. Other way. That one was.
There's a way to use your elbow in both ways.
Yeah. If the guy stretches out.
Okay.
In his case, I was taking my elbow over because he was so big. I had to get it over the top so it's not touching. Because if I try to lock this way with the elbow in the way, it won't do anything. So I got to get it over. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try you.
So
So if it's out here.
if it so if the arm is stretched out, we put the pressure here, okay, and we want to do circle and a line. Okay. So other hand. Circle and then a line. Yep. Circle. Lift this up. Yep. And then down. Push with the hand. Yes. Yep.
And then the other one is, so grab me again.
The other one is, yeah. Well, you wouldn't.
I should probably
No, you wouldn't take it
grab
off. You wouldn't take it off. I was just showing you the principle. Leave it here and turn your body. Sir, don't touch me when I'm talking. You understand, sir?
I understand,
Okay,
sir.
Thank you. So they put their hands on you. All you do is turn your. No. Just turn your body. Hold.
Here.
Hold. 2 hands.
2 hands. So hold here.
Yep. And then turn your body. No. This way.
This way?
No. Look at your head.
Uh-huh.
Your head goes right there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the person's trying to palm you back or brace you or pull you back, push you back. All you do is take their hand here and just say, sir, please don't touch me.
The one where you're pushing down on the elbow. How was that?
Okay, so pushing down the elbow to lock the elbow. We turn it here in a circle and then down. Yeah. And all the pressure just has to be here on here. Oh, excuse me. All the pressure just has to be here on the elbow.
So one where you're pushing down here.
Yeah. Well, this is the principle. So I was showing you if you go here and here, you have the lock, right? But that's for someone grabbing your hair. Make a fist. Make a fist. So if I had hair, he grabbed my hair or my beard or my head, I know that if I get pinky up, thumb down, I can lock up to the ground.
Okay. But you really have to twist the hand pretty good.
Well, it's not twisting. It's just pinky up, thumb down. So anytime, make a fist. Anytime the pinky is up and the thumb is down, you have the lock. See that?
Yeah.
Or grab my wrist.
Holy crap.
So if I'm talking right here and this guy grabs my wrist, he's grabbing my wrist and I'm talking and he wants to help this guy. So I'm going to grab his hand here, my elbow comes up and go straight down.
My other arm. Yep.
All from touching you. You're just talking like, sir, I don't want any trouble. Guy grabs the wrist. Grab the wrist. Going slow. Yep. And you can take it all to the ground just like that. Of course, in real life, you go this fast. And they go, ah, straight down. And it doesn't take much energy from you. So it's not like you have to be stronger or bigger than that person, right? That's very important because I dealt with people. I deal with guys that are 400 pounds that, spent their life in prison lifting weights. How would I be able to use physical force on this person who's 6'9", 400 pounds and putting my freedom at risk, right?
Are these techniques coming from jiu-jitsu?
A lot of them are jiu-jitsu based, right? So jiu-jitsu teaches a lot of this, and then this is an adaptation of that, right? So I tried it in real life. Like Aikido teaches that someone comes here, you go 1, 2, 3, which does work as long as he's not trying to hurt me. In real life, when I go like this, 1, he'll punch me right now.
Oh, like this?
Bang, okay, technique did not work. Rethinking technique number 1. Okay, all right, touch me again.
If I had that much time, I could just yank straight out.
Right, in real life, it doesn't, there's no time.
Right.
See that? So in real life, as soon as he puts his hands out there, it's locked down just that fast. So simple techniques.
And it looks good from the outside too because I put my hand here and all you're doing is holding.
I'm
where
just
you
holding
put it.
right.
Like,
His
you
hands
put it
right there.
It's
That's
mine
why
now.
our stuff doesn't look good in movies because it looks like it's nothing. Right? It looks like this. They're not doing anything. This is a horrible movie, right? But in real life, it's horrible pain on that guy's side just from touching you. This guy wants to walk towards my friend. Walk towards him. I come here.
This is the most fun I've had ever.
He's walking towards my friend. I come here.
Okay.
He's walking towards my friend.
Again.
I go, sir, please don't do that, sir. So simple techniques. You don't want to hurt the person. He wants to walk this way, walk that way. You just go, sir, please. Walk this way. Oh, no, come over here. No, I didn't want you to hit that. Yeah. So we come in here. So we want to move the guy. We just come here, sir, right this way, please. Right this way.
I gave her the quote so you can teach her how to break out of the arm grab. I think she's the smallest one here. She should probably learn it the best.
Which one?
This
Oh.
young lady here.
Oh.
No,
So they grab here?
Here.
Mhm. Oh, from here. So all you do is take your hand right here, grab, and squeeze and push this in towards the thumb. Yep, that, just like that. Yes. Yep, and you can use your palm right here. Yep, use this right here. Good, and try to push right there. So, make a fist. So take your palm right here, and you go just like that. Yeah. Yeah, it goes from 0 to 100. Hurts really, really bad. We've had females use these techniques on guys that are much bigger than them. It does not matter. And of course, we had to, because in real life, we were actually protecting someone, so it had to work. So if we want to move someone, the simple ways to move people, we use the elbows. Sir, right this way, please. He wants to walk towards me. We push here. So, just the elbows, yep. Just moving the elbows. Turn around.
Supposed to be resistant.
Yeah, turn towards me.
Hey. This bar sucks.
All right, so from here, he was too aggressive, so I couldn't keep moving forward. So I wanted him to go this way. So we're going this way. It's not working out. He's freaking out. I come here. Now I'm moving back. Uh-oh, he's too strong again. This is arms forward. We come here. Sir, hands down. And now we walk him backwards. He grabs the wrist, grab the wrist. Oh, sir, hands down. So one person can extract one person from your home, from your business, from your life. You don't have to have a team, a whole bunch of people. You can literally take them into custody yourself. Guys, like, I'm not going anywhere. Point like that. We come here. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
There's no bleeding, no broken bones, no strikes, which means the chance of you getting another court date is almost impossible. So what you want to do is create a condition where you have control, but you don't create injuries. All right? So this person is walking towards people he's not supposed to walk towards.
All right.
We know we can turn the head. Let's do that with your partner. Yeah. Yeah. Here, go right here, right here. You guys right here? Yeah, okay. So turn your hand like this, guys. Like this. Okay? So my right hand is going to go towards the left side of their face. Here. And we're going to turn right by the eye. We're going to turn the temple using our fingertips. We're going to turn the temple away from us. Like this, sir. Yep, hand like this. So it'll be on that side of the head. Yeah, well, actually, to put the tips behind you. Take your fingertips and put them behind you. Right behind. Yes, and walk forward. And walk. Yep. And just remember to walk forward, guys. So if I want to move this guy, right, he's going this way. I'm going to move forward. Okay, he's going this way. I'm going to move forward. I actually move my body forward. That's where I get the leverage from.
You once or someone else
Yep.
stand there, somebody.
So you can do it in front of you like this. The guy's in front of you.
What?
You can go just like this and turn his face away.
Which one am I going?
Yep.
Okay.
By stepping in.
Stepping in.
Which
Yes.
was, does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can change the direction just like that without injuring someone.
Right.
This guy could be right here blocking you. Sir, please, excuse me.
Now? Hey, how'd you do that other hold? When you did the freaking bear hug on my face thing.
So all you do is turn the chin like this. 1,
Right.
2, 3. It's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
It works great in real life. Guys are and they don't go to sleep unless you hold them down.
Right.
So they'll stay awake. You can walk them out. When you let them go, they walk away. Usually kind of mad, but they walk away. Now, to put them to sleep, all you do is lean forward. And when they sit in the ground, 3 to 5 seconds, they're out.
Wow.
Completely asleep. And all you do is lower them to the side and they'll wake up.
So
1,000 times.
This is really fun and informative, but as soon as I get home and a month from now, I'm going to remember almost nothing and forget about all the stuff. Where do we go from here? Like when we leave here, how do we actually go and find this education?
Threatmanagementcenter.com. Threatmanagementcenter.com. You can also go to our YouTube channel, Vipers Threat Management. You'll see many techniques on there. It's all open. You know, it's all there.
Is there a place where we can go to actually get
Our
the training?
physical facilities in Detroit. We have people that fly into Detroit, and we are currently at 6440 White Street in Detroit. You can look that up on our website as well. It's also on YouTube. And there's lots of news stories about us that shows our facility as well. It's a tactical training facility. We're also opening other franchises, so you'll be able to have these kind of schools that will teach these techniques in your communities, anywhere, everywhere in the world. That's our objective, to find partners, people that want to help us get these into their communities, so we can spread the word that there is a way to manage threats non-violently. Right? So you actually have the ability. Every person has the ability. It doesn't matter male, female, old, young. It's not violence that's going to win. It's actual understanding how not to be violent. It's the actual training for nonviolence. So not theoretical, but physical training to create nonviolence. If I don't want this guy to hurt this guy, I could say I don't want that, but I need to be able to, if he pulled a gun and pointed at this guy, I need to know how to come up and strip the gun from the guy. That's how I make safe. Right? Otherwise, I'm just hoping, like, hey, please don't shoot him. Please don't shoot him. But if I really want to be helpful, I should know how to take the gun from the guy. Right?
Did anyone get muzzle flashed on that one?
Nope. No. Went up in the air. No. From here, it went literally up in the air. Just like that. Yep. And then his finger's actually caught in there, so I have to go slow right here to pull it out because I didn't want to trap. In real life, you would actually be able to trap the guy's finger in there, which actually helps with a lock. So he's going to shoot if I move. If I move, because shoot, shoot. Yep. Say, don't move.
Don't move.
There's our first shot. And from here, he's going to hold tight. He's got a good grip on it. And his finger's actually in there. Yep. So in real life, we would just keep going and lock it down. We actually would lock the finger in there. And he's actually on the ground, and you didn't shoot the guy. You still have the gun, you have him locked, and from there you can make a decision. You can elongate his arm and put it behind his back and hold him so police can take him away alive, right? So you don't have to shoot him. Just because I took the gun from him doesn't mean I have to turn it on him and then pull the trigger. I don't have to do that part. I can actually just strip the gun, take it from him and tell him to leave, or I can use this as a lock on the finger and control the guy and take him to the ground. All right, so, let's put it to the side of the head. Yep. And he's going to say, don't move. Don't move. 1, 2. Going slowly on that finger. Put your finger out.
2 is where you realize it's
2. And from here, you decide, right, based on the level of threat and the conditions that are happening. But we're going to emphasize not shooting.
How is when you're standing like this?
Yeah.
Don't move.
1. Okay, pull the trigger. 2. And from here you decide. So you don't have to let the person kill you. 1, 2. And we have the weapon and the person. They got it. Close quarters, hostage. Remember, they're not scared of you. They have the gun. So they're like this. 1. Going slow. 2, 3. Oops. Don't shoot.
But if that
1,
in his hand, right?
2. That's true. So technically, he may have shot himself. So, but again, 1, 2. We don't have to shoot if we don't want to. We simply strip the gun, and now we have the weapon. And now we can tell them to leave, move on with our life. Right? I would suggest you don't take this gun around with you places. Probably disarm it, unload it as soon as possible. Throw the magazine in the sewer, and immediately contact law enforcement by putting it somewhere where you control it, but don't have it in your hands. Taking this thing home is not in your best interest. Getting caught down the street with it is not in your best interest. You need to, stay where you are, call 911 wherever you are to report this incident right here, because once you do that, you're establishing that you are in a self-defense situation. And if you're not sure because he's still here, then you need to go somewhere safe as soon as possible. It's a really gray area, because if you get caught with a gun running down the street, that's going to be bad. And by the way, the criminals are almost always going to lie. Yeah, they're going to say it's your gun and you're the one robbing them, and they were defending themselves. So I have a thing on television where it's very clean, where the police get there and they're like, that's the bad guy. It's not how it works. The bad guy's like, I'm just going to church, and this guy's came out of nowhere with his gun. I don't even believe in guns. He's got a whole story about it. And you're sitting there like, he had the gun. He's the criminal. So just remember that criminals are really good at lying. They're really good. They're so good at lying, they can actually make you believe their truth and you were there. When they're done talking, you're like, man, I robbed you. I didn't even know I had a gun. Gosh, he's so good. I really believe him. That's how good they are at communicating, at emotional projection. They're so good that you want to believe them. Like, why did I rob you? I don't even know why I robbed you. What's wrong with me? So, and your truth is never as strong as their lies. Keep that in mind. You may not have the confidence, but here's what you do have. You now have 100% more knowledge you did before you came in. Your brain has 100% more information that can help you than before you started just a small segment of training. And the way the brain works is under stress and duress, your brain goes back to what it last knows. Not what you realize you know. But your last fight back in 6th grade, if that's what you did, the windmill, that's what you're going to do at age 62. You're going to do the last thing you saw yourself do way back when, because your brain's going to go, how do we defend ourselves? Remember when our sister hit us? Let's do that. We got jumped in football camp. Remember that? Whatever your last fight was, that's what you're going to do right now, right? And so what we're doing by exposing your brain to these actions is we're putting all these different subconscious responses to stimulus in your brain. Your brain is going to reach back at its time of need, and it's going to say, what should we do? It's going to answer its own questions. You just put more options in your toolbox. Now your brain actually feels more confident because it's more competent to manage this gun threat. I even showed you the science behind it. I didn't show you the magic. I showed you the science of why it works. So your brain knows you can actually disarm the gun. It knows because it saw the science. It saw it happen. It understood the science, the thousandths of a second versus 2,000ths of a second. I showed it repeatedly. That means your brain has now been programmed to believe you can actually disarm a gun, even though the person pointing the gun right at you. Your brain now knows it's true. And whether you realize or not, it's affecting you subconsciously. Remember, we're all driven by subconscious compulsive things. So one of the things we're doing is programming our minds to lose fear of this thing. You've already lost some fear. You've already lost some right now, which in a stress of duress and in time of need, your brain's going to remember, oh yeah, we do have some idea of what to do. And so that's because we're trying to replace that blank. The blank that you feel under stress and duress is a direct result of a lack of knowing any intelligent options. So your brain begins to panic and says, I don't know what to do. It's going to make something up. But you're not going to let them take your family member against your will. You're not going to let them just sit there and keep shooting you. Remember, there's only one thing worse than getting shot, and that's getting shot repeatedly. So hurry up and get the gun. If you think the first bullet hurt, wait till you get the rest of them. You'll not be the first person to get shot repeatedly and live. 6 of us have been shot. One of my guys was shot 7 times. He was 170 pounds at the most. And he was built, no, you're bigger than my guy was when he got shot 7 times. And by the same height. So one of the bullets went through his neck, straight through. The other ones went in the chest, upper area, all through the arms, all through here. He was in my vehicle, and the guy was running next to the car, shooting into the car. And then he drove away, went down the street, smashed the car while he was shot that many times. And from what I know from TV, that's pretty much you're dead. But in real life, unless you bleed out, you're not going to die 9 times out of 10. And so all of us, I thought we were magical. We're not magical. It's just the way the human body works. As long as there's someone there to help keep the blood inside, you're going to live. So remember that for you and your family. You get shot, someone else gets shot, someone that you come across gets shot or stabbed. You can save their life by simply keeping the blood inside. Stay calm, keep the blood inside. It's a very simple principle. It's not complex. You know if I keep the blood inside this person that's bleeding, they're going to live. Okay? And you know because I just told you, and I told you how I know. So these are facts, not theory, right? You now know that someone you know who experienced gunshot wounds, who experienced caring for people with these gunshot wounds in real life, all the people are alive because of that one reason, not because we're magical. Everybody got shot by different types of caliber rounds. A female standing next to me got shot by a 7.62 caliber rifle in a drive-by. She's alive, through and through the hip, and she can walk. First aid kits? Yeah. Yeah. All these pockets are full in country. In the United States, there's stuff in all these pockets. Smoke, pepper spray, dispersal units that clear this room, loud sound devices, disorientation device. We have lights that are strobe lights that are very bright that can throw and makes loud noise, and strobes. Lots of things that don't harm people, but can cause disruption in threat conditions. So in general, just remember that your thought process, the way you believe, affects what you achieve. So if you believe you're shot and you believe you can't succeed, then you actually are dying already, and you're actually going to fail to survive, fail to thrive. A police officer was shot, a federal agent was shot in his left hand, and his right hand had a good working weapon with bullets in the gun. His brain told him that his hand was shot and his gun doesn't work. So he sat on the ground after being shot. The man with the gun who shot him came around and shot other FBI agents. In this case, it was a shootout in Florida. Came around the corner, shot the federal agent again while he was on the ground with a perfectly good working handgun. He never shot again because the brain will play tricks. There's 3 things going to happen under fear conditions: fight, flight, or freeze. Your brain is going to do one of those 3 things. The more you program it to have the response you want it to have, the more it's going to do that. So if you say, I'm going to fight, then your brain will say, okay, we know what to do. If someone's trying to threaten us, our brain will neurologically, subconsciously respond to that threat, and it will begin to protect itself. If you say, I don't know, you don't know. You might protect, you might not. We don't know who we are until we're in those conditions. And each human being's brain is different. But if you program yourself to believe that you're supposed to fight for your safety, for your life, for your family, for your freedom, when this person tries to take you against your will, if you believe you're supposed to fight and you trained for that, your brain will take over. It's not conscious thought. You won't be sitting there thinking, I will have to do this and I will have to do that. That's not what's going to happen. Remember, under high threat conditions, all of your fine motor skills are gone. So you can't aim. You see people all the time, I'm training to protect you won't be able to aim. I'm going to let you know that now. So what you have to do is practice shooting. If you are a shooter or a person who's going to use a firearm, you need to practice shooting, just shooting at close quarters, like from here to this person. That's how far you need to be shooting. That's where an actual personal threat takes place. Anything past this space, it's not really self-defense. It's not really going to be self-defense. It's something else 9 times out of 10. Yeah, it's something bigger and something that's. It's going to be hard for you to. It's going to be hard for you to articulate that as self-defense, and not because 9 times out of 10, the self-defense situation is a contact. It's here, when the person did X, Y, Z, or was doing X, Y, Z to you, stabbing, trying to kill you, trying to rob you. It's all here, right? So having really good long-range shooting skills under controlled environments is just ridiculous. It's like being able to kick or do the splits and kick people in the head. That's not for self-defense, okay? So remember, your brain will start to play games will start to be distorted. Auditory occlusion and ocular occlusion happens when the brain is under high threat conditions. In other words, your brain will see tunnel vision, ocular occlusion. Your brain will start to not be able to hear things. For some people in shootouts, your brain will hear the shooting from your gun, but won't hear theirs, or vice versa. So you can see the muzzle flash from your gun, but you won't see you can't hear your gun shooting, which also means you can hear sometimes this guy talking, sometimes that guy talking, and sometimes no one talking. Even though you're sitting here, you should be able to hear them. Your brain is in fear. Once your brain is in fear, you're no longer able to hear or process information. So when you look at videos on the news and you see someone shoot someone when they shouldn't have, remember that if their brain was in fear at the time of the shooting, their brain was not processing the information right in the first place. So you could actually put your hands up, still get shot. You could drop the gun, still be shot. Someone could see you have a badge and still shoot you because they didn't know that their brain didn't recognize that as law enforcement or security at the scene when they arrived. Their brain wasn't able to process that. All they saw was person with gun or person they thought had a gun. Sometimes it's a cell phone in your hands. Other times it was nothing in your hands. The brain just played a trick. This guy had the gun. My brain said it was that guy, and I actually shoot this guy. The brain does strange things under high threat conditions, under high stress. And no one's figured out exactly, how that happens or how to combat it. But one of the things we can do to help inoculate that distortion that happens naturally occurring in the brain under high threat conditions is to program ourselves to respond properly.
Programmed by repetition.
Repetition and by training and envisioning. So professional athletes have to do what? They have to watch film. They even have film of them winning a contest they haven't won yet. They actually have videos made where they're winning something they haven't won. It's to make their brain believe they're supposed to win. So they actually go into a deprivation chamber, a video is playing and showing them winning a race they haven't won. But their brain needs to see that to believe that. That's how psychologically susceptible we are as humans to suggestion. So keep that in mind, guys. We can suggest good things or we can suggest bad things. And by training, all you're doing is giving yourself more knowledge, more options that you're going to pull out in your time of need. Your brain's going to do that for you. And if you didn't put anything in there, your brain's going to just freak out. Like you can even have access to the gun. Your brain won't even tell you, what to do with it properly because you didn't think of this. You didn't envision it. You didn't program your brain to make the right decisions in these cases. So what you can do in general, these things that we went over today, you kind of go over them. But you can look at our website. You can look at our training videos. You actually see a lot of it in there. But you guys physically experience some of it. And that makes a big difference. But remember, your brain now knows a bunch of things, a bunch of options for someone grabbing you, someone holding you, someone with a weapon. One more thing we want to do in terms of physical. All right, so watch this. In general, guys, when someone holds something in their hands, okay, just remember this. All you do is push the side of it towards the thumb and it's going to come right out. Okay? No matter how strong it is, no matter how strong their grip is, when you press down, it comes right out of the hand. Okay? Because there's no muscle groups on top of the thumb. Just like when it's your wrist, you simply press down on the side and it comes right out. So this could be a knife, right? The side of the blade, you take the hand, put it on the side of the blade, and you press it down. It comes right out. Okay? So you don't have to sit there and let someone keep stabbing you. You can actually come to the side of it, press down, and you have that blade in your hands.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Simple. So no matter what it is in their hands, and just remember, you can press it right on the side of the thumb, and it literally comes right out. Yeah, very painful. If they try to hold it, it actually hurts the thumb. Yeah, it hurts more, right? Yeah. So keep that in mind. Press at the base of the blade. Well, there, and that goes to the concept of the Japanese thought process about how they do things in their martial arts and their traditions, which also explains, a lot about what happened later when the Americans, who trained a lot less, somehow became in control of their land, and that we've never let go since, and outlawed all those martial arts, by the way. So sometimes tradition is your enemy. And that's why evolution is required. To evolve, we must all change our thought process. Tradition destroys evolution and inhibits our growth. That's why evolve, being here, is so important. And that's why I'm glad to be a part of it, to help you guys evolve, to see different options you have, both to protect yourself and your family, and also to help us evolve the society of human beings in general. So this works in every country under all conditions. And, we need as many supporters like you to help us get it out there. So any ways you guys can help us to help others evolve, please help us do that because we are growing, we're expanding, we're looking for people to partner in different areas. Yes, sir. So several things. One is if you get a chance, we'd like you to physically come out and train with us in Detroit to see it actually at work or help to set up a facility in your area. We're going to open training centers, in your area where you live. We need people in your area, everywhere you live, to be trained in these things so they can go out and help protect themselves, their families, their communities. Everyone's freedom requires training in order to make that happen. No, it's ideal because you don't have to untrain. So what I had to do was I had to lose all my training. I had to get rid of literally all my training from my martial arts background. Almost all of it had to be replaced because of the way it was implemented. All my training in firearms. I was a firearms instructor for many years, NRA certified firearms instructor for 5 disciplines, but I was also on a combat pistol team in West Germany in high school. I was also an airborne paratrooper. I've been training in martial arts since I was a kid. All that training didn't have anything to do with saving life. It had to do with taking life and also giving my life up to take objectives. So the objective of this training is the opposite, is for you to be able to preserve your life and lives of others, to not exchange your life, to get rid of your life, to extinguish your life for your objectives. Your objective should be to not extinguish anyone's life, including your own, and to create safety safely. There's no reason why you can't have safe public safety, and we're showing that it's possible. We're in Detroit, and we proved it's real. You can do this. And we're not anti-gun, we're not pro-gun, we're just pro-safety. The gun is or is not an issue. It's not your enemy, it's not your friend, it's a tool. In certain conditions, everything's applicable, but 9 times out of 10, in most situations, you just don't need a fire extinguisher if you just don't think things catch on fire. You don't need a gun if you don't create conditions for conflict or allow those conditions to be created. Remember, someone has to believe in order to achieve something. So if they want to go and create violence, they had to believe there was a possibility. Your job is to, as a person, not let them believe there's a good opportunity for violence here. There's not even a need for it. There's no gain. I don't represent that for you. So as a result, the predator simply chooses somewhere else to go. And if there's less places to go, that means there's less victims. So creating less opportunity for predatory conditions is the way to create a safer public and a safer private environment, right? Denial of opportunity, not creating the opportunity for a negative occurrence and then replying and responding to that negative occurrence after it occurred to try to salvage something, to make something as positive out of a negative as possible. That can happen, but that's only if we fail to properly manage threats. If we're properly manage threats for ourselves, our communities, our corporations, if we're properly doing that, we're literally preventing the conditions from existing in the first place. So schools are painted with what kind of paint? Paint that doesn't burn. They don't just have $1 million smoke detector system with panels and other things. They actually have paint that doesn't burn. If you try to burn the paint in a school, it won't burn. So if we have fire doors, which we also have in every school, why don't we have anti-ballistic doors in every school? It just is what it is. It's a requirement. You can't shoot through the doors. Why are we allowing, we don't allow people to go to a prison without having ID, without having authorization to go to a prison just to visit a prisoner. Yet you can go to any school and go all the way in the school where there's kids. You don't have any business being there. And then someone's going to tell you can't come in here, whether they're armed or not. You're already in the school with the kids. Why does it even sound smart? It isn't smart. You should never allow someone onto a school campus of any type without being authorized to be on the school campus. That's the parking lot. That's where protection begins, on the outside of the structure, not inside. You don't let anybody sit in an airplane and go, I got to check your bag, see if you got any weapons inside this airplane. Oh, that takes place. So you can't even see an airplane. That's how far away that takes place. And to make the airports even safer, which you could do, you actually do that at the perimeter of the airport. Therefore, that one guy that went into the luggage area couldn't have done the shooting in there. There was one guy in Miami, I think, did a luggage area shooting, came in there. Yep, came in and grabbed something and started shooting people. Of course, there was also one where the luggage had stuff inside the luggage that he just took, that he brought in. So there's lots of ways we can prevent conditions. And when we prevent the conditions, that's how we actually create safety. So the physical aspects are also because you need to have that just in case. You need to be able to physically keep someone's hands off of you, your family. You need to be able to do that in a way that's conducive for having a prosperous protected life. And from protection, remember, protection, there's a direct correlation between protection and prosperity. For you as an individual, for your business, for your community, everything that's protected can prosper. Something or anyone or anything that's not protected cannot prosper long term. There's going to be a negative outcome eventually. That's why we must protect our investments. And the greatest investment we have for all of us is ourself and our life and our families, our friends, and the people we come across. So keep that in mind. This training is for real life application. It's to protect your life, your most valuable asset. And again, it does it multiple levels because it really focuses on how not to be violent. And violence is your enemy. Remember that the true enemy is not anything more than the violence. If this guy says, I'm going to steal this, I'm going to let him take that. Number one, it's a toy gun. I can go buy some more. It can't hurt me. But there's nothing more valuable than our lives. So if I can give him something, what if he steals my car? Where's he going to live with my car for the rest of his life? He's going to drop the car somewhere. It's insured anyway. I'll probably get some better rims with my insurance anyway when I get it back. So what I'm not going to do is be fighting this guy over this car. It's just not going to happen. Because I don't want to spend the money on winning this fight in the court or anywhere else. I just make the police report, make the insurance claim, be done with it. And if I didn't have insurance, I just got to buy another one. You just got to be smarter than your situation. Remember that, smarter than your situation. Creating conditions for the positive outcome requires you to be smarter than this situation. Don't let the situation dictate to you the course of your life. You can decide it. Someone steals your backpack, you chase them off the train and go get it, and then find out the real reason they took the backpack was to get you off the train. It wasn't even about the backpack, it was about you. And you followed them off the train. And now you're fighting for your life, or they took your life. But really you gave it to them because you should let them take, first of all, if you didn't want them to take the backpack, you shouldn't have the backpack where they can take it. You shouldn't have had anything valuable in the backpack in the first place. Your valuable should have been on you. So when they took the backpack, you already took your wallet, made sure it was in your pocket. So when they took the backpack, they didn't take anything that really mattered in the first place. You already pre-planned that. That's an example of denying the opportunity for someone to create a negative outcome. They took your hairbrush. They took, shorts. They took stuff you don't care about. Right? Makes sense? All right, anybody have any questions? Yeah, we're going to have franchise. We're going to have threat management centers, urban survival tactics training centers that are going to be opening in your community. We want people to invest in opening them in their communities, people that are looking for business opportunities. And our objective is to get as many of these organizations out there as possible. And from within those organizations, there's also going to be an app where you can actually say protection sharing, basically, where you can actually say, if you have a situation, your family has a situation, we both attend the same school. He knows he can trust me because he knows we're both trained the same way. So he says if there's ever a situation, he's going to contact me. If his family has a problem, I'll contact him if he has a problem. And that's end-to-end user part of an app that goes with your schooling. So that's why you know that the person knows what they're doing. Because if you call someone to help you, like Uber, I'm going to call you as an Uber protector. So I call you, I sit in there, hey, I need you over here. Guy comes over to help you. And this is my neighbor. And I was actually calling him because this guy's a problem. Well, my guy that I called over, Uber protector, comes over and shoots my neighbor. My life is over. Literally over criminally and physically and financially. All right. He wasn't supposed to shoot anyone. I was just saying this guy's a problem. But the guy I called over, he didn't realize that the situation, he got confused and he shot my neighbor. And I said, the guy with the gray shirt. He was like, it's a gray shirt. No, that gray shirt. Too late. Right? So remember to avoid false positives, guys. Don't use fear to dictate actions. Always look at everything as a positive, neutral, and negative. Let me ask you this. If you saw a woman being held by her throat against the wall by a man, what's a positive reason, a neutral reason, a negative reason? Go. Positive reason. No, positive reason. He's holding the woman by the throat. Go.
Positive. I don't have.
She's in danger
Okay.
of herself or other people.
She's trying to hurt the guy. Trying to
Okay, so he's defending himself. What's a neutral reason he's holding a woman by the throat? This guy. Kinky. There's something they do. They're involved in a relationship, and that's how this male and this female, male, female, how they enjoy their quality time together at the park is by choking each other. Okay? So if you run over there and you say, oh my gosh, this is a bad person, I must Glock them, I must pistol whip them, I must hit them with a brick, You've just committed a major felony and you got to fight the other person. She is not, or he is not going to be happy that you just helped them by attacking their person that they're not in danger from, that you thought they were in danger from. And how often does that happen? Every single day at 10 times the rate of actual danger. What you saw was a man attacking a girl. You didn't see it was boyfriend, girlfriend. You didn't see it was play fighting or she's showing him self-defense. Right. Doing a film, a movie scene. They're doing acting or any number of things. This happens all the time. So there was a law enforcement officer in New York City. She saw a black male running with a gun out and a white male running, yelling for help. So there's only one reason that would happen. And she gets up and shoots a perfect shot into that police officer's head because she thought it was a criminal chasing a good person. She did not know it was the police officer was the African-American and the European-American was a bank robber. And so she just thought she was doing the right thing. She didn't know, right? Because in our minds, we've got to believe positive, neutral, negative before we take any actions. And then we assess. So if this guy's holding a woman by her throat, I'm going to go over there and say, hey, is everything okay, guys? Everything's, oh, yeah, we're just doing some acting. Oh, whew. I was about to jump to a conclusion. But people literally jump to conclusions every day. Okay? And I'm in neighborhoods where I'll get a call from a family member. They'll say, security's not doing anything. You guys, my daughter just got chased down the street by someone in a car. Okay? In our own neighborhood, we pay you guys. You're not doing your job. Then I get another call. You guys aren't doing your job. I just found a strange car in our neighborhood, and as soon as I pulled up on it to check them, they just started driving really fast. So I chased them out of the neighborhood myself. We don't need security. Sir, you just chased your neighbor's daughter out of the community. You're not supposed to chase your neighbor's daughter. Now your neighbor wants to kill you for chasing his daughter. But they don't know each other. They didn't know that car was they didn't realize, and this happens all the time. So my point in saying that is this, guys, remember, don't think negative, think positive, neutral, negative for everything you're seeing before you assume, and as you go check something, make sure you realize that it could be a positive reason, it could be a neutral reason, or this could actually be a negative thing you're seeing, okay? And always call 911 first for a situation before you interact because it shows your intention, right? If I want to go check my neighbor's house to see if she's okay, I do call 911 first. The reason why is because I don't want her to say I was prowling at her house or her boyfriend to pull up or her husband to pull up at 2 o'clock in the morning, checking to see if my neighbor's okay. Who are you knocking on her door for at 2 in the morning? Male? Male, single male or not single male, doesn't matter. You're knocking on a woman's door and you're for her safety at 2 a.m. So that's why you call 911 first. Say, look, I'm just going to check on my neighbor. Can you send a unit to do a health and welfare check? You check, and then you greet the police out there. So they don't go over there, get spooked, and have a shooting. You can actually prevent that. But what you also did was prevented you being prosecuted or being misunderstood because you did call 911 first to let them know you're checking your neighbor's house to make sure they're okay, right? So there's ways to do this and do it safely and legally and prevent any type of unwanted outcomes as well, okay? All right, you want to take a picture? Everybody want to take a picture?